Welcome back. It's Solarcast presented by SunPower by Stellar Solar. I'm host David Boylan. Today I'm joined by Michael Powers. He's the SunPower by Stellar Solar co-founder, and we're discussing community choice energy. Welcome back, Michael.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. So, I've heard a lot about community choice energy, and I have a lot of questions personally. So let's start with a high-level description of it, and we'll drill down from there. So what's your nutshell description of community choice energy?
Well, David, community choice is a program that allows local control and freedom of choice and competition into the electricity marketplace. In other words, it allows cities and counties to purchase power on behalf of their residents and businesses to provide cleaner power options at a more competitive price. That's the nutshell description.
Nice. That's a good one. So this is different from community solar, right?
Right. We're hearing both those terms right now, and I think there's a little bit of confusion. Community solar is sort of like a co-op. It's a way for people to participate and buy into a percentage of a solar array that's been built by a third party. So people like renters, for instance, could go solar by joining in a community solar garden or community solar as such. That's totally different from community choice.
And solar plays a part in this, but it's energy we're talking here.
Right,
energy,
community choice energy is the name of the program.
Right. Okay, so if I understand this correctly, it basically gives people a choice of energy providers. Right.
Up until recently, it's San Diego Gas and Electric basically has a monopoly, and you have to buy your power from them. Up in San Francisco, it's PG&E and whatever. The investor-owned utility has been given sort of this monopoly over the marketplace, and the only way that got controlled was through the Public Utility Commission up in Sacramento. Community choice allows the local clean energy company, which is a nonprofit that the city or the county puts together, and they get to make those decisions about where the power is going to be purchased on behalf of their residents. So you have a choice now between the clean power group that'll be operating locally or your local investor-owned utility, and you can choose between those two. So it introduces competition into the marketplace and really kind of drives the price of the utility power lower too in the long run.
Nice. So it applies to homeowners and renters. This is for everybody, right?
Any electricity customer and businesses as well. Anybody
right.
that uses electricity in San Diego County.
Good stuff. So as I understand it, there is a track record of this in California, correct?
That's right. It's kind of new for San Diego. We're just having this conversation really in the last sort of 6 to 9 months. You've been hearing more about it. But over 3 years ago, Marin County up in Northern California decided to start a community choice program called Clean Energy Marin. And so they've been doing it for 3 years. They have a track record. Sonoma and Mendocino counties has done it. Lancaster did it 2.5 years ago. City of San Francisco, the whole city of San Francisco voted to go community choice last May. And so they're just now starting to gear up. But whenever this has been done for at least a couple of years, what happens is that the energy costs to the average customer go down and the percent of clean energy goes up. And really, that's one of the main benefits of it.
So there's communities in San Diego that are looking to switch to community choice as well, right?
That's right. The process is that there has to be kind of a feasibility study. There has to be a discussion. This is something that happens through the city councils or the county council, depending whoever the governing role is. And so here locally, we've already seen Carlsbad, Del Mar, Encinitas, Oceanside, Solana Beach, San Diego City and County are all looking at it. Recently, San Diego City just got the feasibility study back, and it said that it would be feasible, it would work, it would do the things that it's supposed to do. And in general, I think the vote is scheduled for January. So between now and January, there'll be a discussion about this, and then the city council will vote whether to go community choice or not.
Nice. So let's say we're located in Oceanside here. If it's adopted by a city, what does that transition look like?
It's going to be different for each community or groups of communities. The smaller ones like Oceanside will certainly get together with some of the other ones like Del Mar and Carlsbad and so on. But in general, there's a transition period. Once the county council decides to do it, there'll be a date when it's actually implemented. And at that point, all the residents in that community are automatically opted in to get your energy through the clean energy program, unless you decide to opt out. And then in which case you can make that decision and say, no, I want to stick with SDG&E and continue to do that. The community choice group is making the decision about where the power is purchased and what percent of it is clean energy. The rest of that process is still done by the utility. They're paying the utility to transmit and distribute the power and still collect the money in the bills. But they're reporting back to a nonprofit that's operated as a clean energy group through the city.
Nice. So you answered my next question. They can stay with SDG&E if they want to.
Right. That's why there's a choice. So you still have other options.
Okay. So top 3 benefits of something like this that people are going to expect when they go community choice energy.
Well, certainly greater choice,
Right.
and some communities like Texas, you can choose between 5 or 6 different energy providers, and in this case, there's going to be at least 2. One's going to be a nonprofit, and the other one's going to be an investor-owned utility that has to pay back their investors. So, it's going to make a difference in what the actual cost of energy is, but the big benefit is it's more clean energy. Most of the communities have climate change plans that they have had to do. How are we going to get to how are we going to reduce our carbon footprint in various communities? And the only way to do that really is to have a higher percentage of clean energy as quickly as possible. San Diego wants to get to a really high number. I think it's 50% by 2030 and eventually 100%. And so the only way to do that really is to incentivize and make the decision on behalf of the community that we're going to go into a higher percentage of renewable energy than we're willing to let the utility make those decisions for us.
You keep answering my questions here ahead of the thing. So basically, I know a lot of climate action plans are in place, and this helps communities meet those.
That's right, and those are legal obligations. So if the communities don't meet their climate action plans, it's actually going to start costing people serious money because there'll be penalties imposed if they don't do it. And this is the quickest way to do it at the lowest possible price, is to invest in clean energy groups and not rely on the investor-owned utility to try to help us get there.
So why does SunPower by Stellar Solar support community choice, and how will this affect present and future solar customers of ours?
Well, David, just like the entire CalCia, our solar energy industry, we've always supported that in the work that they do in Sacramento, because they've always lobbied on behalf of the solar customers, present and future, to make sure they always get the highest value for the solar power that they can get. And what customers have noticed is that over the last several years, the utilities continue to try to chip away at the value that solar customer is going to get through all the rules and regulations and the way that they do things in Sacramento. So really, we want to see people get the highest value for their solar energy when they sell that power, whether it's back to the utility or to the clean energy group. It looks like they're going to get more money for their solar energy through the clean energy group. And if nothing else, we have local control. People who produce solar energy are producing 100% clean energy. It's considered premium power. And yet the best you can do with SDG&E right now is to get retail value. And what we say is that this is worth more than just regular electricity, because it's 100% clean energy. It should get more. And that's what happens with the clean energy programs.
All right. So if people want to find out and get involved, what's the best way for them to do it?
Well, I think we're going to put a link on our website, because obviously there's a lot of information here, and we believe that the more information people have about the community choice programs, the better it's going to look to them. And so if they go to our website, www.stellarsolar.net, they'll be able to find out more about it. There'll be a link to additional information, and they can find out how best to participate in their local communities wherever they live.
Great. Hey, thanks for shedding some light on this.
Yeah, you bet.
All right. There you have it, another edition of the SunPower by Stellar Solarcast with founding partner and solar industry expert Michael Powers. And as always, thank you for your valuable insight.